RIP the double slab at the blacksmith shop. Instead replaced with the grindstone, one of the best new blocks in the game. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Minecraft 1.14.4 pre-release 2. By the way, that grindstone is not a new change. I just thought it's awesome. And I think this is one of the first ones I've seen in the old style Plains blacksmith shop where, yeah, there's no more double slabs. So that's great. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on with the changes in today's pre-release. Alright guys, so we're currently in Minecraft 1.14.3 just because I want to show you the differences between this version and 1.14.4 pre-2. So let's go ahead and trade with this guy right here. We'll go ahead and trade some wheat for this guy. Actually, you know what? Let's do some bread. Let's do some bread trading. So if I shift click out of here, you'll see I got 48 bread from this guy. So that's great. And we're also going to name this villager Fred. So we know that this is the guy we need to talk to once we upgrade to 1.14.4, because we're going to compare what we've been able to trade here with what we'll be able to trade in 1.14.4. So we're now in 1.14.4 pre-release 2, as you can see right here, and we're going to trade with Fred once more and see how many bread we can get. So we got 48 previously, so let me just quickly get rid of that 48 bread we got, and we'll go back in here, do the bread trade, and we also got 48. So it seems like they stocked the same amount rather than a new amount. Let's just try it again, see how much we get. So we had 48 there. Now we got another 48. Yeah, so it seems like they actually stocked the same amount. I'm not sure if it affects it if this guy was generated in 1.14.3, if he just always stocks only 48, but it seemed like other people have reported that they actually stock more, like you can get more per trade, but that does not seem to be the case from our test right here. Just to check that out, let me just go ahead and teleport to a random spot in this world and try a different villager with perhaps a different bread trade for the same amount. Alright, so we got a new village here. This village is sort of on the border of a plains and a dark oak forest, so it's kind of cool. It has these little, like, towers coming out of this dark oak forest. But let's see if this guy has a bread trade down here. See if we can trade with him. This is a villager that was generated in 1.14.4 pre-2. So he does have a bread trade. Let's try and trade with him and see how many we get. Before we do that, let's just clear our inventory of all the bread we have and trade. And yeah, okay, so it looks like the villager does have to be... He does have to be generated in 1.14 pre-2 to get that. So it doesn't apply to older villagers. But we did get, yeah, a stack and a half of bread from this guy, as opposed to 48 from the other guy. So we got double the bread from this new farmer. So that's pretty cool. I should probably test one more time just to make sure it's not like variants in villagers. So let's go to yet another village somewhere else and see if we can get a different villager with the same bread trade. Oh, in fact, this guy here, maybe this guy has one? No, but we can actually break his workstation until he does have... There we go, okay, that was easy. So this is a totally different villager. Let's go ahead and again clear the bread here. And let's go in and do the bread trade, see how much we get. Yep, okay, so that confirms it. So there you go, guys, that basically confirms it. Only the new villagers will give you more items per trade compared to the old villagers. So if you have villagers currently in your world and you're in 1.14.3, might be worth setting up a breeder just so you get villagers with more items per trade. Another change in this pre-release is that villagers will now remember their gossip after becoming a zombie villager themselves. So you can see this guy, I've been doing a little bit of trading with him. He's locked out in some of his trades here, and if we take a look at his gossip, you can see he has gossip with the trading value of 16. So this should persist if we convert him to a zombie villager, which we're actually going to do right now. So you can see this guy's going to be converted here. There we go. And I forgot to place this over this guy, so hopefully he doesn't die. Let's just see, though. Come on. There we go. Okay, he survived. Okay, cool. Alright, so now we're going to convert this zombie villager with weakness and a apple back into a regular villager, and we should see that the gossip for this guy is the same. So I believe it was 16 before, so we should see it be 16 once he's converted back. Alright, so there we go. Our villager converted back into a regular villager. And now we can go ahead and look at his trades. Obviously the trades are all the same, except it's now much, much cheaper because we cured him. And let's take a look at his gossip now. we actually have to switch the entity ID, so let's just do this one, and we'll do gossips. And there we go. So you can see trading value is still at 16. He had a major positive as well, and we can continue to basically convert him from a villager into a zombie villager, and we can continue to basically stack up these major positives to get more and more cheap trades. So we can like reduce the price of this all the way down to 1 potato for an emerald if we really wanted to. So yeah, that is the new trading, and also the gossip from this major positive here from the conversion. This actually lasts much longer compared to what it was in 1.14.3. And also, villagers themselves can now also work without restocking at the same time. So that is also somewhat useful to know. Mobs which used to have trouble walking on waterlogged half slabs, like pigs, creepers, illagers, cows, and a bunch of other mobs, no longer have trouble doing so, as you can see right here. Previously in the game, there were massive FPS spikes and massive lag whenever villagers attempted to pathfind to either their workstations or their beds. However, that has now been fixed, and to demonstrate this, I'm going to go ahead and do Alt F3, and this will then show us a graph of, yeah, the TPS and also the FPS. For some reason, there was a massive lag spike there just a moment ago, but let me just go ahead and I'll just basically turn it to night. So we'll do time set night. All these villagers should then be pathing to their beds, as you can see here. And as you can see, the TPS, there is a couple of small lag spikes, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was in 1.14.3 rather. So yeah, very minimal FPS hit and very minimal TPS hit when they're all pathfinding to their beds. Once again, we are now in Minecraft 1.14.3, and you'll see here we have a villager on a 4-block tall ledge. If I now ring this bell, so he sort of flips out, you'll see he actually walks off the ledge and takes some damage. So yeah, that is an interesting mechanic that was in the game previously, but now... So now we're in 1.14.4 pre-release 2, as you can see, and if we ring the bell now, you'll see this guy doesn't panic because he knows he can't get down without taking fall damage, but as soon as we lower this block here, he follows the safe path down. So that is much appreciated and will prevent a lot of villagers from dying needlessly due to fall damage. Another bug that was fixed is that villagers were sometimes not pathfinding toward their point of interest, and that the point of interest detection range was too small. The point of interest detection range of the villagers still remains at 48 blocks. I tested this pretty extensively in 1.14.3 and the pre-release here, and it's exactly the same as it was previously. So that means I believe that they've changed the wandering code of the villagers. So like they will wander for a little bit of time in the morning, but I don't think they ever will now get too far away from their point of interest. Although this guy is kind of pushing it with his point of interest, if that's his point of interest right there. So I think what happens now is that the villagers will wander, like this guy is doing now, but they'll never get more than 48 blocks away from their point of interest. So let's just see if that is what happens here. Because there was a problem where the villagers would wander so far away that they'd lose their point of interest. And if they get more than 48 blocks, they do lose it, so I'm hoping that's not what happens here. I'm just going to follow this guy and see what happens, though. He seems to be pretty far away. I'm just going to mark this spot, actually, where he's at, and we'll measure how far it is. He still keeps going further, though. He was right there. He's got to be close. We'll see. So I did a little bit of math. It seemed like this guy was too far away from his composter to maintain it, but turns out he was only about 43.5 blocks away when he was standing on this block right here, at least as the crow flies. So he was still able to maintain his composter and maintain his profession, which suggests to me that Mojang have somehow added a maximum distance from point of interest to the wandering phase of the villager's day. So basically that means they'll no longer wander off aimlessly into the wilderness after they could have previously, potentially just wandered over here and then just wandered off if they got too far away. So that's good to see. So that should result in fewer villagers wandering off and dying needlessly in the wilderness. There were also some other minor fixes to things such as the debug dumps and also the mouse acceleration problems people were having. That has also been fixed in this pre-release. So anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this pre-release video, please do leave a like and be sure to subscribe for more like this. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Cub. Goodbye.